A very warm welcome to all the students of class 6th. I hope you all are taking good care of yourself. In this video, we will revise chapter 5, Water of Chemistry. So children, water is the basic necessity for the functioning of all the life forms that exist on earth. Plants need water, animals need water, we human beings need water. So, all the life forms on earth are possible because of the presence of water. It is safe to say that water is the reason behind earth being the only planet to support life. So, the reason why the earth supports life is because of the presence of water, right? Three-fourths of the surface of the earth is covered with water. 70% of human body is covered with water. In ancient times, water was considered as an element, but now it is considered as a compound of hydrogen and oxygen. So, children, we cannot think of our life without water. Life would not have been possible without water. Now, the question arises, where do we get water from? So, actually, there are two sources of water. The first one is surface water, and the second one is underground water. So, surface water is the water which is present in the large water bodies, in rivers, lakes, oceans, ponds, and underground water is the water which is present under the surface of the earth. So there are two sources. The first one is surface water and underground water. Surface water is the water which is found in the large water bodies. And underground water is the water which is found under the surface of the earth. The next one is states of water. So water exists in all the three states, in solid, in liquid, and in gaseous state. So in solid, it exists in the form of ice. In liquid, it exists in form of water, and in gas, it exists in the form of water vapor or steam. So all the three states of water are there: solid in the form of ice, liquid in the form of water, and gaseous in the form of steam. And all the three states are interconvertible. Solid, if you heat solid, it can be converted into liquid. And if you heat liquid, it will be converted into water vapor or steam, right? And on freezing, it will be converted into water will be converted into ice. So all the three states of water are there, and all the three states are interconvertible, right? That can, which means that it can be converted from one state to another. Now, there are numerous uses of water. The first one is biochemical reactions. So, water helps in biochemical reactions that take place in our body. For example, for digestion, we need water, right? Digestion cannot take place without water. Plants need water for photosynthesis. Now, we also need water for transporting food material and waste products. Now, water is also needed for throwing out waste material from the body of a human being. A very important point is given: water also helps in maintaining the temperature of the body. So these are some of the uses of water, but apart from these uses, we have a lot more uses. For example, we use water in our household, in agriculture, and in industries. So in household, we use water for bathing, cleaning, drinking, washing clothes, gardening, for brushing teeth, in the toilets. So there are numerous ways in which we use water at our household. Now, we should make sure that we are not wasting water. So for example, you are brushing your teeth. What you can do? You can close the tap when it is not in use. right? Instead of using pipes, you can use a bucket for taking a bath. So these are some of the ways in which you can save water. Then water is needed in agriculture also. For irrigation, water is needed. Plants need water for preparing their own food. So water is needed in agriculture also. Now, we need water in industries also. We need water as a reactant in industries, as a solvent, as a coolant. Then we need water for the production of electricity. Then we need water for the disposal of waste. So there are so many ways in which water is used in our household, agriculture, and industries. The next point we have is a solution. So what is a solution? A solution is a mixture which is obtained on dissolving a substance into another. So for example, you dissolve sugar into water. You will get a sugar solution. So when you dissolve sugar into water, you will get a sugar solution. In this example, the sugar, it is a solute and the water is the solvent. So solute is any substance that is being dissolved. So sugar is being dissolved into water. That is why it is the solute here. And the solvent is water, the substance that dissolves the other substances. So water is dissolving the sugar. That is why it is known as a solvent. So a solution, it can be homogeneous as well as heterogeneous. Now, what is a homogeneous solution? What is a homogeneous mixture? A homogeneous mixture is one which has the same composition and properties throughout. So, for example, sugar solution. So, sugar solution has the same composition and properties throughout the solution. Every part of the sugar solution tastes the same, and you are not able to distinguish between sugar and water. Also, you cannot separate sugar and water. So, such solutions, such mixtures are known as homogeneous. Now, what are heterogeneous mixtures? When different parts of a mixture have different composition and properties, it is said to be a heterogeneous mixture. So, when the different components have different compositions, different parts, properties, then it is said to be a heterogeneous mixture. For example, sugar and sand. So, they might have different properties, different composition at different points. And also you are able to distinguish between sugar and salt, and you can also separate sugar and salt. So such mixture in which separation is possible, in which you can distinguish the two, are known as heterogeneous mixtures. Now the next topic we have is water, a universal solvent. So why is water known as a universal solvent? Water is known as a universal solvent because it is capable of dissolving a lot of substances into it. For example, you can dissolve salt into it, you can dissolve sugar into it, soap can be dissolved in water, detergent can be dissolved in water. Then there are some gases that are soluble in water. For example, oxygen is soluble in water, carbon dioxide is soluble in water, sulfur dioxide is soluble in water. Apart from this, many other substances are also soluble in water. This is the reason water is known as a universal solvent. The next one we have is saturated solution. So a saturated solution is one which is not capable of dissolving any more solute at a given temperature. Let's say you are making a sugar solution. So a point will come when you will not be able to dissolve any more sugar into the water. So now the next topic we have is a water pollution. Water pollution is water that contains substances harmful to living beings is known as water pollution. So water which is unfit for drinking. Water which has a lot of harmful substances is known as water pollution or polluted water. So what are the causes of water pollution? See, there are so many causes of water pollution. First one is sewage and garbage. Then there are industrial waste also that are directly the waste material from the industries is directly discarded into the water, which makes it unfit. Then there are runoff from agricultural land also, which also causes water pollution. Then the next one is waste from hospital. So waste from hospital, there are times then that harmful substances from the hospitals are discarded into water, which makes it unfit. Then there are other causes as well, like we go and take a bath in rivers, lakes, right? We go and wash our clothes in water bodies, which again makes the water polluted. Then, how can you control water pollution? So, the first one is sewage should be treated before being discharged into a river or a lake. Then, the second one is industrial wastewater must be treated to remove harmful substances. Only then the wastewater should be discharged into a river or a lake. Now, third point is we should use pesticides in limited quantities. Hospital waste we should try to burn, and dead bodies we should try to bury so that the water is not polluted. Now, if you drink contaminated water, then the diseases that are caused are known as waterborne diseases. For example, cholera, typhoid, hepatitis. So these are some of the examples of waterborne diseases. The next one is purification of water. How can you purify water? See, there are several steps, there are several ways in which we can purify water. The first one is sedimentation and decantation. Second one is filtration. Third one is chlorination. Fourth one is boiling. Fifth one is water purifiers. So, sedimentation is basically the first step in which we can purify water. So, the water that is drawn from a source is allowed to stand in settling tanks or sedimentation tanks, which allows the muddy substances to settle down at the bottom of the right container. Now, what will happen? We can add a small amount of alum into the water so that these substances settle down more quickly. And then the comparatively clear water is pumped to the filtration tank. Now the second step is filtration. So the water from the settling tank passes into the filtration tanks, which contains the layer of charcoal and sand. So these layers act as a filter paper. The particles are suspended in the water like as they are filtered out. Right? As the water is passing through them, the water is filtered. So earlier in the ancient times, earthen pots were used, which contained layers of charcoal, gravel, and sand. But now we have filtration tanks. So we use them at our homes. Now the next one is chlorination. In chlorination, what do we do is we add chlorine so as to kill the germs that are present in water. Also, we can boil the water to kill the germs that are present in water. Nowadays, there are a lot of water purifiers available. We can also use them to purify the water. The next one is how can we conserve water? So water conservation is the practice of using water efficiently so as to reduce unnecessary water usage. So we should try to conserve more and more water so that it is available for the future generation as well. If we keep on using the water in the same way we are using it now, the future generation will not have access to fresh water. So now there are some ways in which we can conserve water. So the first one is you can turn off the tap while you are brushing your teeth or washing your hands. Also, When you do not need tap, you can turn it off, right, while washing clothes, utensils. Also, what you can do is you should close the tap properly, and you should fix if the taps are leaking, if the pipes are leaking, then you should fix them immediately so that water is not wasted. The next one is rainwater harvesting. So, rainwater harvesting, it is the collection and storage of rain water rather than allowing it to run off. In this, you do not waste the rainwater.
That's all for today. I hope you all had a good time revising the chapter. Goodbye and take care.